To walk through open fields, to do nothing but watch the clouds float by and the corn touch the sky, to sit and listen to the barnyard sages speak their endless mysteries. This is the country dream that keeps calling us back. For those people who live the dream, though, miles from cities and modern conveniences, it is a sometime reverie. There is also the reality, the plain truth of survival, of not being able to get to stores and doctors and jobs because there is no transportation, of being, of feeling miles from everything. In New Jersey, they live on the periphery of suburbia, where the sprawling arms of New York and Philadelphia have not yet reached. Some wouldn't trade places with anyone in a city, but many don't have the choice.
When I first came to New Jersey, I had no friends, no work, no place to stay. There was snow on the ground. Me, my family had never seen snow before. We had no winter clothes.
Nicholas Portalatin is a farm worker. He works on a large farm in South Jersey. From March to November, he is in the fields 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day. In the winter months, there's only part-time work, making vegetable crates and doing odd jobs for the farmer. Mr. Portalatin, his wife Emelina, and their 5 children came to New Jersey from Puerto Rico 4 years ago. Today, they live on the outskirts of Vineland, miles from stores, doctors, and opportunities. The Portalatins do not speak English. Except for some furniture and an old television set, they own nothing. They do not have a car. As in most parts of New Jersey, there is no public transportation where they live.
I was born in Barceloneta. My parents were poor. My father died when I was 12 and I had to leave school to support my family. But there was not always work. We were days without food. Friends who had left Puerto Rico and came to the United States, told me I could make good money here.
Mr. Portalatin earns $2 an hour. Like most farm workers, he gets no paid holidays, sick leave, workman's compensation, or unemployment insurance. His yearly income is $3,800. The house the Portalatins live in is over 100 years old. It is one of more than a dozen owned by the farmer Mr. Portalatin works for, and it is badly in need of repair. Windows are broken, plaster is falling off the walls, the plumbing is constantly breaking down. The farmer charges them $120 a month rent. Loneliness weighs on the Portalatins' lives. From early morning, usually until late at night, their television is going. In a very real sense, it serves as a lifeline, a window on the world they live on the periphery of. One of Mr. Portalatin's jobs in winter is collecting garbage for the farmer. Even though he has only 2 or 3 days of work a week for him, from December to February, the farmer, Mr. Portalatin says, has told him that he cannot work for anyone else and live in his house.
Where would we go? It is very hard to find places. I could not live in a city. There is too much agitation there. I would rather be in the country. At least here I can work.
Because they have no transportation, the Portalatins seldom go out. All the money Mr. Portalatin earns goes for food and clothing. The Portalatins do their grocery shopping every 2 weeks. They shop at a small grocery store owned by a Puerto Rican man because he offers a unique service. He picks up his customers and takes them to his store. The store's prices are on the average 1/3 more to double those of supermarkets in the area. But in the long run, it is still cheaper to shop here than to pay taxi fares from their house to the big chain stores. The average lifespan of a farm worker is 49 years. At 45, Mr. Portalatin says he feels like an old man.
My children keep me going. If I do not work, who's going to feed them? Without them, without my wife, I would have nothing. All I want, my one dream, is to go back to Puerto Rico, to have a little house for my family there.
It's home to me. I've been around a good bit, but I'd rather live here than anywhere. Oh, there's places I might like to live in Texas where it don't get so darn cold. I don't think I'd like to live in Florida. It's too damp.
For Peg and Harry, this is home. They have lived here in Hunterdon County all their lives. Proud survivors of a bygone era, they cling stubbornly to their land and country life.
I don't care about leaving here. Had lots of chances to sell. I like to go to town once in a while, look around. But I wouldn't want to go stay. In the city, you can't go out and have a good time without taking the chance of getting your head knocked off. And you see more in the country, get good fresh air. I want to get out and dig around. Gee whiz, you can't dig anything, only trash in the city.
Peg is 72 years old. Harry, 81. Except for the addition of electricity and a telephone, they live much the same today as they did 50 years ago, surrounded by animals and the land they love.
I like it. I like the animals and things. I like to be with them. Sometimes the animals have more sense than the people.
Peg and Harry's house is warmed in winter by a potbelly stove. Getting enough wood to keep the fire going is one of their principal concerns. They use about 3 cords of wood each winter. A few modern conveniences, like the chainsaw, have crept into their lives. It was purchased several years ago, after Harry suffered a heart attack. Before that, he sawed and chopped all his own wood by hand.
You're your own boss and you want to sit down and rest a while, you can if you want to. If you don't, if you want to work till your tongue hangs out, all right.
Peg and Harry lead a solitary life. They don't go to church or own a television, and they haven't been to the movies in 50 years. Most of their longtime friends in the area have either died or moved away. But Harry says he is never bored, and Peg says she doesn't care much about going out anymore.
Rooster, hold your head down there, Don. We buy our potatoes, and outside of that we buy flour and sugar. But anything that you can raise about on the farm, we raise.
Peg and Harry get by on monthly Social Security checks and Harry's small VA pension. When they can save money by doing things themselves, they do. Until recently, a large portion of their income came from the sale of honey.
Doesn't pay me any. I don't even know it stung me. But there was a doctor up around Bethlehem that used to give treatment for rheumatism and arthritis with bee stings. I used to get around 2 tons of honey. I didn't get any last year.
An insecticide used by local farmers to kill cornworms has slowly been destroying Harry's bee colonies.
I don't know what's the matter with the dumb blocks down at Washington, here in New Jersey too. They'll go to work and put this spray poison out, and the agriculture college recommended. They put it on a lot of corn. It'll kill your bees. It's worth $100 maybe or more.
Once a week, Peg and Harry make the big trip to town. Without their truck, which is 25 years old, they would be literally stranded. From their house, it is 3 miles to the nearest town.
There was a big coon around here last night or this
Yes,
morning.
and that'll go your chicken.
Dog gets in there'll go the coon.
How about that little baby that was thrown down the fire escape to them?
Hey, you're getting chocolate on your chin. That'll show.
Well, everything.
You don't know where your chin is now.
That was awful.
Best time of my life's right now. Got the old gal here to holler at, and she's got me to holler at.
Peg calls herself a city girl. She was born in a little town not far from where they live. Harry has always lived in the country. His father bought the land where their house stands in 1906.
I'm sorry that picture's fading all the good.
Everything I know is let go.
You suppose it's the sun?
It isn't in the sun, is it?
What's the deal?
I don't think that I was over 4 years old. We went up to Flemington, and they took me in and bought this suit, paid $5 for it. And I don't think I ever wore it without I opened my mouth and squalled my head darn near off because it was rough. Little cuffs on. I liked the blouse waist all right. Holes in the seam
I
of the
guess
breast.
in the choir, maybe.
I don't know. That doesn't look to me as scorched.
Yeah.
They in Brooklyn got quite a ways from home, didn't they?
Where Peg and Harry live in Hunterdon County, suburbia is encroaching steadily around them. Still, they refuse to think about the future or the possibility that taxes might force them off their land. Attachment to the land also runs deep among the Ramapo Mountain People, an abandoned mining community in Ringwood, New Jersey, on the New York state border. Mrs. Amelia Van Dunk, a midwife who has lived in the Ramapo Mountains all of her 86 years, remembers Ringwood in its heyday.
In my younger days, I used to lay in the mountains after berries, go roaming through the woods for herbs. But I'm done now. I can't do no more. I was born up here to the mines in 1888. I've been a midwife for about 20-some years. I don't know. It just come to me. All these big boys run around there, men. I delivered them. I delivered them. Irene, 1 or 2. Margaret Hardy, 1. Sarah Stevens, them was white people, 1. Poor woman's dead. I delivered 2, 3 for her. That was Mabel and Dunk. My other cousin left gone. I delivered 2, 3 for her. And my daughter, 5 for her. Oh, I can't tell it all. Must be near 100. There is 100.
The Ramapo Mountain People settled in the Ringwood mine area 150 years ago. They came to work in Peter Cooper's mines, and they found a picturesque place to live. The mountains were plentiful, with mink, squirrel, foxes, and rabbits. There were wild herbs and berries. During the Civil War, under the management of Abram S. Hewitt, the mine supplied gun carriages for the Union Army mortars. Then, in the late 1880s, the mines began to fade. After the Korean conflict, they closed. The Ramapo Mountain People, a close-knit community, remained.
I can't tell you much about the mines, because we wasn't allowed to go out to the mines. I went out to the mines once. See my father go down into the shaft. That's all I ever seen him, one time. No, we wasn't allowed to go through the woods like children do now.
They're the dune buggies. We ride way back in the woods, back and past the mines and beach places and all around in here. I like Ringwood, especially this part of Ringwood.
It's the best part.
I like living around, places like this.
Because
I like
people lives in this place too.
Yeah. I like the country a lot. I don't like the city. Polluted, for one thing.
Right now, we're looking for a job.
Yeah, very hard.
Very hard.
If you ain't got a high school diploma, you ain't gonna get no job. I went all over the place. There just ain't no jobs. Now there's a job
out here, man.
I called yesterday in Pumpkin Lakes. Me and him. We called down there about a job, and he told us to come down for application. See, we don't have no way down there.
We got no transportation.
No transportation.
It's hard up there, Food, money, It's hard to make money these days.
Hard. People really got it hard up here.
After the mines give up and the youths died, why, everything was turned over. It had a store in Ringwood, that's gone. It had a post office, that's moved over to Tupperware. Yes, I think Ringwood has been forgotten.
Like the people of Appalachia, the Ramapo Mountain People struggle to eke out a living in rural isolation. Cars, which few can afford, have become a necessity of life. The once well-maintained entrances to the mines are now potholed roads leading nowhere. Unemployment is exceedingly high because there is virtually no industry in the area. And now that the mines are closed, no public transportation to towns where there is work. Most of the mine area residents who have jobs work either for the Borough of Ringwood or at the nearby state park.
People stick together up in here because we have to. Well, we work for everything we got in here. The people's got to stay together. And it's all like one big family. I think we got more than a rich person.
Money's not everything in the world, in my opinion. I could do with it and do without it. But my family's got to live, so therefore I got to have the money. But as far as me moving them out of this town into another town towards the city or something, it would never happen.
450 people still live in the old company houses built for the miners around 1875. Rented to the residents by the Borough of Ringwood, the houses are crumbling and badly in need of repair. Most are poorly heated and have only cold running water. Fewer than 10 have indoor toilets. In contrast to the mine area houses is the Ringwood Manor House, once the home of the Hewitts, who managed the mines in their heyday. Now part of Ringwood State Park, the state spends roughly $43,000 a year to maintain this landmark.
We're better off than we are living.
Our brother's 6 kids got it. Be burned up in Canada.
Same thing, what I'm just talking about. See what happens. The oldest one is 12 years of age. Hasn't seen no life, period. Where is she dead? Gone. If they had to way up there, that we'd last a damn bit, no more than a snowball in a bunch of fire. And you throw a snowball in the fire, it disintegrates right back. And that's the way it would be with us.
Bleak though the outlook seems at present for the Ramapo Mountain People, there are glimmers of hope. One of the brightest is the self-help How-To housing program. How-To stands for Housing Operation with Training Opportunity. It is designed to give the mountain people a stake in society by making them homeowners. The people must provide the labor, but the cost of the materials for the new houses and the land is paid by low-interest FHA mortgages.
We're going into warmer homes. We're going to have inside plumbing, the heating, and it's a better built house. That, you know, the houses that we do live in now, that's the part about you. When the wind blows, they breathe. Well, I think that How-To is good for people that really want to get out and build something for themselves. That is a great involvement, learn you how to do things, and part about it that we're just getting them involved. That's the main thing.
How-To has rekindled the dream in some residents' hearts that Ringwood will become a viable community again. A few even believe that America, in its desperate search for domestic energy sources, will return to the Ramapo Mountains to tap the large deposits of iron still buried there. But there are people who do not have cause for such optimism. People who are many miles away.
I'm gonna sit down at the welcome table. I'm gonna sit down at the welcome table some of these days, hallelujah. I'm gonna sit down at the welcome table. I'm gonna sit down at the welcome table some of these days. I'm gonna sing and never get tired. I'm gonna sing and never get tired some of these days, hallelujah. I'm gonna sing and never get tired. I'm gonna sing and never get tired some of these days. I'm gonna sit down at the welcome table. I'm gonna sit down at the welcome table some of these days. Hallelujah. I'm gonna sit down at the welcome table. I'm gonna sit down at the welcome table some of these days.